Fordham women's basketball is back after Christmas for a quick tilt with UMass before the new year. The Rams go on the road in Amherst to open their A10 conference schedule. The Minutewomen have won 3 of their last 4 games, most recently against UMass Lowell. The Rams look to bounce back after 2 tough losses at the Raising the Bar Invitational last weekend in California. It's Fordham versus UMass. It's the start of conference play. It's women's college basketball, and it's next on WFUV Sports. Tucker Austin here with Joe Henry ahead of Fordham women's basketball's game against UMass Amherst, and we're here with Coach Bridgette Mitchell pregame. Now, with the thick of the holidays, obviously we're between Christmas and New Year's for this game. What did it take? Did it take anything extra to lock your girls in for this game?
No, it's a new season. Non-conference is behind us, and our focus is just, coming out and making sure we're ready to go and send a message to our league and how we are going to compete.
Coach, second go-through for A10 play in your career here. Went through that gauntlet last year. You guys stumbled during this time period last year. What kind of lessons are you bringing from last year into this year to get off on a better foot?
Yeah, we have a whole new team, right? Last year we had 6 grad students, and when you finish finals and everything is kind of like, whoa, what am I about to do? And just having a new team, new energy, I think that our players have a better understanding of what we're trying to do, and so it's a matter of us going out and executing consistently. And having such a young team, you never know with the consistency. It's a toss-up, and so we're really looking forward to just coming out here and competing. If you compete, it's hard to be the team that doesn't give up, right? So we just got to compete for 40 minutes throughout the duration of the game and stay together.
And, of course, you guys are coming off a tough road trip out in California at the Raising the Bar Invitational, but 2 tough losses against really, really tough opponents, too. Probably the best competition that you guys have seen in the last couple of years. How does your team grown this week after those 2 losses? Yeah, Cal's number 24 in the country, right? They can shoot the 3 really well. Our defenses are designed to guard the 3-point line but protect the paint. And so we had really huge challenges with both of those teams and being able to do that. And so I think when you come out and we have a UMass team that doesn't shoot as many 3s, but their percentages are high, it's really important for us to hone in on personnel and know who we're closing out to so that we can get the looks that we want in terms of defense transferring to our offense, right? We're a team that loves to steal and gamble, and so we got to make sure we're doing that wisely.
This is a UMass team that's kind of short-circuited its rebuild in the post-Tory Verity era. Had just 5 wins last year. They're already at 5 wins this year entering conference play. Just what's the game plan today against a team that's got a lot of new and talented faces?
Definitely. He's done a really good job in terms of his recruiting, he and his staff. I think that their players are going to play hard as well. It's going to come down to who's going to win the 50-50 balls. This conference play, everybody's equal. I think that, inside of their post, their interior, they have strong presence in terms of rebounding, but also production with their transfer. And I think that from a guard perspective, we have the opportunity to really pressure up on his perimeter play and see what disruption we can cause.
All right, awesome. Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Thanks, guys.
And welcome back inside of the Mullins Center. We apologize for any technical difficulties in the intro there, but we're back ahead of the Fordham Rams women's basketball versus the UMass Minutewomen. Of course, I'm joined by Joe Henry, and we do have some starting lineups, Joe. We'll start off with Massachusetts. 3 guards going out there. It'll be Momo LeClaire, Ali Palmieri, Stephanie Kalasia, and then the forward, Megan Olbrees, and at center, Chinea Odenigbo. And it's Palmieri and Odenigbo really the 1-2 punch for this Minutewomen team.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a team that has a lot of players hovering around that 10 to 13 points per game mark, so they get it going from a lot of different options, but certainly Palmieri especially is a volume shooter. We saw her take a whole bunch of shots against Lowell, and actually she's in a slump. She's 4 for 29 in her last 2 games, so it'll be very interesting to see how she performs today after a little bit of an extended rest.
And we were a little surprised when we looked at the starting lineup today for the Fordham Rams, as we see neither Taya Davis nor Taylor Donaldson in the starting 5 for the Rams today. 2 guards lining up for Fordham. It'll be Shea Harris and Amaya Ferguson, and then 3 forwards. It'll be Irene Marua, Anastasia Veljovic, and Emma Wilson-Saltos for the Rams, Joe.
Yeah, it's certainly the most surprised we've been after the reveal of a starting lineup. Your best player in Taylor Donaldson is out. We got confirmation from assistant coach Leah Metcalf that she's under the weather. It seems that she will be playing tonight off the bench, but in limited action, so something to watch for there. And yeah, this is a team that's rolling out a first-time starter in her collegiate career, and the freshman Anastasia Veljovic out of Mississauga, Ontario, and Emma Wilson-Saltos, who was a superstar in JUCO at Monroe College, but is getting her first start as a Ram as well. And then you look in the backcourt, and you see Shea Harris and Amaya Ferguson, 2 extremely talented guards who have really struggled shooting. They've been able to get to their spots and create shots, but neither of them has shot it particularly well. This is a massive opportunity for them to take the reins of this offense and make some noise as we head into A10 play.
And of course, Irene Marua also had a season-high career, I would say, performance last time out against Xavier. A season-high 8 of 10 shooting from the floor, 17 points and 12 boards. That double-double led the Rams offensively. So it'll be interesting to see what Fordham can do in this A10 conference opener. The Fordham Rams and the UMass Minutewomen just about ready to get underway. Fordham wearing the black and maroon road uniforms. Emma Wilson-Saltos waits at center court for the Minutewomen in white and maroon. And we are just about ready for tip-off. It's Chinea Odenigbo in against Wilson-Saltos for the tip. Ball is up, and it's tipped into the backcourt, picked up by the Minutewomen. And we are underway. It's Mackenzie Jones. Now Momo LeClaire on the ball. Sends it down to the low block. And Megan Olbrees steps out of bounds under the basket. It's a quick turnover, and Fordham gets the ball.
It's going to be a point of emphasis for this Fordham team to force turnovers against a UMass team that keeps fair of the ball very well.
Amaya Ferguson moves it for Veljovic. Now back to Ferguson on the left wing, moving across the arc. Ball comes back to Ferguson up top as she calls the offense. Ferguson sends it to the left wing for Veljovic. Veljovic looking for options. He sends it to Marua at the free throw line. Marua back up to Veljovic. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Veljovic out to the wing for Shea Harris. The shot is up. It's no good. Well over the rim. It's going to be a shot clock violation against the Rams, and the ball goes back the other way.
Yeah, not a pretty first possession. Very stagnant. Ball stayed up above the break for about 20 seconds there and just really never saw a paint touch, and the result is about what you would expect.
A collision there in the backcourt between Veljovic and Olbrees, but Minutewomen get the ball working again. There's a shot from the left wing from 3. That was Ali Palmieri. It's no good. Rebound Minutewomen. Momo LeClaire working on her defender. It's Ferguson. Now to the right wing. LeClaire loses control of the ball and sends it back up top for Olbrees. Olbrees works inside. Gives it off for Odenigbo, and her layup is good. First points of the game go to the UMass. It's 2-0.
Yeah, Odenigbo is taller than any player that Fordham's going to send out there today. Look for UMass to get her looks inside.
Fordham working the offense again. It's Shea Harris on the left wing. She brings a screen from Wilson-Saltos, and now a screen from Marua. She gets it to Ferguson on the right wing. Amaya Ferguson moves it inside from Marua. Now into Wilson-Saltos. She works on Odenigbo, and she's fouled as she goes up for the lay. Emma Wilson-Saltos will go to the line for 2.
You like to see that aggressiveness from Wilson Saltos, sidelined the very beginning of the year with an injury, hasn't seen extended minutes to this point. This is a big opportunity for someone who really tore up the JUCO game last year at Monroe College. She was an all-JUCO member in the NJCAA. So one of the 5 best players in JUCO ball all of last year. Finally here, we see her get her opportunity to star as a Ram.
First free throw up for Wilson-Saltos is good. Off front and back rim before it fell.
Wilson Saltos just a 40% free throw shooter entering today.
And she goes 2 for 2. Tied at 2 as the Minutewomen work it forward again. Fordham bringing a press, but it's broken quickly. Momo LeClaire in the corner. Now Kalasia. Now it's up top for Olbrist and sends it to the left wing for Palmieri. Palmieri sends it inside for Olbrist again. She's working on Marua. It's tipped away. Possession will stay with UMass.
Yeah, nice use of the hands there by Marua. Nice clean strip. She's a very clean player with her post defense.
Inbound to Odenigbo. She goes up with the floater. It's no good. Rebounded by Veljovic, and Fordham pushing the objective the other direction. Ferguson gives it off for Veljovic. She fires from 3, and it's good. Anastasia Veljovic from the left wing, and Fordham leads 5-2.
Her first attempt of the season from beyond the arc, and it's a make.
UMass goes back to work on the other end. It's Momo LeClaire with the ball again. Now Palmieri. She gets it to Odenigbo in the left corner. Now it's up for Kalasia. Kalasia back into the corner, and that 3 is good from Palmieri. It's 5-5 with 7:17 and ticking here in the first quarter.
There's one thing she does well, it's shoot it from deep, and she shoots a lot.
And a steal there. Amaya Ferguson loses the ball. Kalasia with the steal and the transition lay on the other end. 7-5 UMass. Ferguson bringing it back up again for the Rams. Ferguson fires from the left wing. It's no good from three-point land. Marua with the rebound. She gets it into the corner, and that shot's good. Shea Harris for 3 from the right wing from the feed from Marua. 8-7 Rams, and quickly the other way goes UMass. Ball to the right wing for LeClaire. Now up top. Now back into the left wing. That shot is no good from Kalasia. And the layup is good for Odenigbo. Quickly the other way go the Fordham Rams. Back and forth early in this one. Pass inside from Ferguson to Wilson Saltos. What a find by Amaya Ferguson for the lay.
A role that we haven't seen her in as a point guard. It's good to see her get those reps. She's a good passer and a clean one.
A long over-the-head chest pass, and Fordham has a 10-9 lead. Now Kalasia and Ali Palmieri back to Kalasia, now into the corner for LeClaire. Odenigbo moves it into the middle for Olbrist, who goes up and makes the layup through the contact from Shea Harris. It's 11-10 UMass.
You see Fordham's lack of size getting exploited early on here. A lot of paint points for UMass.
5:45 and ticking here in the first quarter. Long pass forward from Ferguson. Bounces off the hands of Wilson Saltos and out of bounds. It's a turnover for Fordham.
Couple of turnovers early. I believe that's their 3rd of the day. Both teams using the press to try and speed the opposite team up. Thus far, I think UMass has handled that a little bit better.
Still a 1-point game, though, early here. Nearing 5.5 minutes left to play in the first quarter. It's Palmieri inside for Odenigbo, and she moves it to Olbrist, who gets the lay. More nice interior passing from this UMass team, and they lead 13-10.
Olbrist, a savvy veteran. Villanova transfer, finally getting big minutes. She's just a really solid post presence.
Shea Harris pulls up for 3 from the right wing, and it's no good. Marua with the rebound. She goes up, and her layup is good. Nice second chance opportunity for Irene Marua, and it's 13-12 Minutewomen. Momo LeClaire with it for UMass. She moves over to the left wing, now sends it back up top for Palmieri. Back to LeClaire, now to Odenigbo. She gets it back inside for Olbrist again, but she's fouled this time. Coach Bridgette Mitchell sounding furious with her team that UMass continues to get the ball in bounds. And that is going to take us to our first media timeout of the evening with 4:54 to go here in the first quarter. It's 13-12 UMass Minutewomen over the Fordham Rams, and we'll be right back with more women's basketball on WFUV Sports.
I'm Chaz McAdams.
And I'm Ben Oppenheimer.
And we are two of your hosts for On the Hill, the flagship podcast of Fordham Athletics.
We'll be talking about everything from football at Moglia Stadium
to hoops at the historic Rose Hill Gym.
Discussing the ins and outs of all Ram athletes, teams, and big games.
If you want to be part of the Ramily, then listen to On the Hill from WFUV Sports.
And we welcome you back to the Mullins Center. Tucker Austin joined by Joe Henry, where the UMass Minutewomen currently lead the Fordham Rams 13-12 in the early going of this one. 4:54 left on the clock in the first quarter, and Fordham's possession. We're still waiting for both teams to break their timeouts. And early on, it's really been the pace, Joe, more than anything, that I think is taking a toll on both of these teams. A lot of presses from both defenses and a lot of quick transition movement from both sides of the floor.
Yeah, what we see is Fordham's aggressiveness on defense coming back to bite them. You heard Bridgette Mitchell on the coach's sound earlier talk about how this team likes to gamble, and they're hoping that it's going to pay off against this UMass team. And yeah, they've pressed a lot, and they've forced a turnover, but when UMass has been able to break the press and get the ball inside, Fordham has not been able to deny the ball from the post because they haven't been able to set their half-court defense because they're so busy pressing the ball full court. So UMass has been able to get easy paint touches for Odenigbo and for Olbrees, and they've translated to points early on. That's been the difference.
Yeah, those two have been really electric in the paint today. Fordham really only just now managed to get a stop on that connection in the paint, and it was with a foul. So we'll see if Fordham can maybe get some more of those stops without fouling as time goes on. Obviously, you can't just give them fouls forever. But for the Fordham Rams, it was Shea Harris with that three that gives her the leading score on the team. Emma Wilson-Saltos, she has 4 points to lead the team, but Shea Harris picked up that three right before the timeout. Anastasia Veljovic also hitting her first three on her first shot of the day. So an even game so far, very fast-paced.
Now you see Fordham bringing their first players off the bench. It's going to be Kayla Berry and Precious Omashola. Still no Taya Davis, still no Taylor Donaldson.
So we'll await to see if Taylor Donaldson will play today. We'll wait to see if Taya Davis will get minutes as well, but just about ready to inbound here is Momo LeClaire, and she gets it to Palmieri for the quick two, and it's good. 15-12 Minutewomen right out of the timeout. Harris gets it across to Ferguson. LeClaire pressing her. Now she gets it to Harris again.
And Taylor Donaldson's walking up to the scorer's table. She'll sub in.
Shea Harris moves from right to left and puts up a floater. It's no good. Rebounded there by Megan Olbrees, and UMass goes the other way. Long pass down low for Odenigbo. The ball's still loose. Shea Harris collects it, and it's a quick turnover for UMass. Fordham getting the other way.
There you see the press paying dividends and speeding UMass up.
Ferguson crossed the block, UMass logo at center court. Now she's on the right wing, loses the ball, but recollects. Dumps it off to Kayla Berry. Now to Marua. Marua double teamed in the corner, and she gets the ball out to Ferguson. She pulls for three from the right wing, and it's no good. A little too strong. Goes out of bounds. Fordham wants a reset on the shot clock since it's still Fordham's ball.
They're not going to get it. That was an air ball. There's going to be 6 seconds left to get up a shot. We'll see what play they draw up. Taya Davis coming into the game and inbounding. Taylor Donaldson might be the recipient of this play.
Ferguson and Harris both take a seat. Taya Davis sends it up top for Kayla Berry. Now to Taya Davis again. She drives inside with 1 second on the shot clock. She got the layup up, but it's no good. Marua with the rebound, and her second chance is good. Another second chance bucket for Rene Marua, and it's 15-14 UMass.
And she's been a revelation on the offensive glass, doing it again today.
UMass working the offense. It's LeClaire. Now it's inside for Olbrees. Now up top for Palmieri. Palmieri pulls from 17 feet, and it's pure. A 2 on the floor for Palmieri.
17-14, UMass.
She's a volume shooter in the mid-range game, and she's hitting them tonight.
Rene Marua moving the ball forward. Tries to go up for the shot, but she's called for the travel. A lot of contact under the basket, but no foul. And they do call the walk on Marua. It's another turnover for the Fordham Rams.
Yeah, Marua having a little bit of trouble operating during set plays in the half court where she's found successes on the boards, but when she's been manned up with Odenigbo, who's a few inches taller than her, she's really struggled to get to her post moves the way that we usually see her with her veteran savvy.
Yamani McHale in the game and bringing it up for UMass. Odenigbo in the corner. Now to Kalasia. Kalasia sends it into the right corner for Palmieri, and her three is good. Ali Palmieri with the three, and that gives UMass a 20-14 lead. Taya Davis bringing it up for the Rams. Now she sends it to Taylor Donaldson. Donaldson goes up with the layup. It's no good. Rebound UMass. Now the other way goes McHale. She sends a pass forward for Palmieri, and she finds Odenigbo inside, but there's a travel called. The layup was good, but they call a travel on the floor. The basket does not count. The score remains 20-14, and it's Fordham's basketball under the basket.
It's a lucky break. Shortest player on the floor in Taya Davis, who's smiling a lot right now after that one against the tallest player on the floor in Odenigbo, and she's going to get away with one as Odenigbo travels and gives Fordham the possession.
Precious Omashola checks in, Precious Omashola sits down for Carissa Antoine, who is inbounding. She gets it into Donaldson. And now Taya Davis will bring it up for the Rams. Still working against a half-court press from UMass. Veljovic moves inside. Her layup is good. A cool move in the paint from Veljovic, and it's 20-16 UMass.
Like to see her being assertive on the offensive end.
Now McHale gets it to Palmieri. Now in the corner, it's Lily Ferguson. And now it's Kalasia. She gets it into the middle for Olbrees. She took a 14-foot jumper. It was no good. And the rebound by Carissa Antoine. Taya Davis pushing the pace, sends a long pass down for Taylor Donaldson. Veljovic moves inside, but she gets the ball out to Wilson Saltos. And there's a 3-second call against Fordham.
Yeah, it's Veljovic. Just got a little bit stuck with the ball in the paint there. Took too long to make a decision, and she's going to pay for it.
1:51 to go here in the first quarter. 20-16, UMass has the lead. Yamani McHale bringing it up. She's guarded by Veljovic. Sent over to the right wing for Kalasia, now inside for Olbrees. Now she finds McHale wide open in the left wing for three, and it's good. McHale with just a wide open look, way too good. And it's 23-16 UMass.
Yeah, way too good for a 45% three-point shooter.
And an immediate turnover going the other way. Taya Davis tried to push the pace and get the ball to Wilson Saltos, but it was tipped away, out of bounds on Fordham, and UMass ball. The game's starting to get away from the Rams just a little bit here in the latter end of the first quarter. McHale sends it to Ferguson. Now to Kalasia on the right wing. She's guarded by Donaldson. Now to Palmieri up top. She drives inside. The layup goes up, and it's no good, but there's a foul. And Ali Palmieri will go to the free throw line for two.
Well, it's troubling to see that Fordham's given up 23 points to a UMass team that managed to only put up 53 against a 2-10 UMass Lowell team. Fordham's 6-0 when holding opponents to 56 points or less. UMass is on pace for, 92 right now, and they've still got some time left in the first quarter. Very concerning stuff from Fordham. They're going to have to tighten up on the defensive end because, as we've been saying all quarter long, UMass has had no problem getting the ball inside. They do it again here and earn themselves 2 shots at the stripe.
Palmieri's first is good. Palmieri, an 83% shooter from the stripe this year.
And not someone you want to foul either. She's really struggled inside this year, just 11 for 46, 24% on close twos, so she's probably going to miss it if you don't foul her.
She goes 2 for 2 from the line, and then a quick steal on the other end on the inbound immediately. Taya Davis tried to get it to Carissa Antoine. But UMass gets into the lane. It's Allie Palmieri again getting into the lane, and she got up for a layup and was fouled again. So she goes back to the line after going 2 for 2. It's 2 more shots for Allie Palmieri.
Some argument from Coach Mitchell on that as to whether or not that was a clean block from Antoine. It looked like she got ball up top. I'm not sure if there was body contact on the lower half.
First one was good for Palmieri. And she misses the second, so 3 of 4 on the afternoon for Palmieri, and now quickly the other way go the Fordham Rams. It's Taya Davis. She loses the ball, but she regains possession, falling to the ground. It's going to be a jump ball, but the possession arrow in favor of the Fordham Rams. Rene Marua checks in for Fordham. Carissa Antoine takes a seat now.
Why are we bounce passing on an inbound? We never bounce pass it on inbound, ever. Like, when have you ever done that? So why do it today? No.
Inbound from Taya Davis to Donaldson. She tries to get it inside for Wilson Saltos, but it's another scrum for the ball on the floor. It gets away, and UMass recovers. Lily Ferguson with the steal. Now going up the other direction is McHale. She gets it low for Coolage on the left side. She's on the left wing with no dribble. Finds Palmieri for help, and now it's McHale up top again. Head coach Matt LaFleur calling from the sideline for UMass. And a steal for Taya Davis. Quickly moving in transition, but Odenigbo swipes at the bounce pass from Taya Davis, and it's another turnover. Going the other way, fast break, UMass. Marua's bounced, and it's an offensive foul. And really, really fast turn of events going back and forth here. Irene Marua posted up against Kulasia in the paint, got bounced off the ball, and they call the offensive foul. It's Fordham's ball.
Beautiful post defense from Marua. She's in the top 5% of players in terms of how little she fouls per 40 minutes. As a center, that's incredible stuff, and she draws the offensive foul here.
Taylor Donaldson with it on the right wing. She pulls for 3, and it's good. Huge impact for Taylor Donaldson there. Her first make of the day. It's 26-19 UMass, and that brings us to the end of the first quarter. It is 26-19. UMass leads the Fordham Rams. And with that, we will send it back to the studio for your one-on-one scoreboard update with Madi Dembele.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
In some other A10 women's basketball play happening today, Davidson is in Pittsburgh to play Duquesne as the Wildcats have a comfortable lead, 52-41, as the third quarter comes to a close. And in Kingston, Rhode Island, the St. Louis Billikens are facing off against the URI Rams. Currently, Rhode Island has the lead, 22-11, as the first quarter wraps up. Later on today, George Washington will start out their conference play at 2 p.m. in Philadelphia to play the LaSalle Explorers. And also in Philly at 2 p.m., the VCU Rams will begin their season facing off against the St. Joseph's Hawks. In Virginia, the Dayton Flyers look to pull off an upset against the Richmond Spiders. Richmond was ranked first in the A10 preseason poll. Tip-off is at 2 p.m. And at 3 p.m. to round out A10 women's basketball play today, St. Bonaventure will be in the Windy City to play the Loyola Chicago Ramblers. With the one-on-one scoreboard update, I'm Ben Oppenheimer.
And we welcome you back to the Mullins Center ahead of the start of the second quarter. My sincere apologies to Mr. Ben Oppenheimer, who is on the scoreboard updates for us today. Madi Dembele, of course, is our studio host. You'll hear him during the halftime and post-game show along with Ben Oppenheimer. But I am Tucker Austin, back joined with Joe Henry here where the UMass Minutewomen came out swinging in that first quarter. 26-19 is our score after the opening frame, and it's been a lot of work in the paint for the Minutewomen so far, Joe.
Yeah, they've got 10 points in the paint already through one quarter. They had just 26 against UMass Lowell, so they're on pace to shatter that number that they put up. And they've really had no problem getting inside, whether they've gone to Olbrees or Odenebo or they've gone to Palmieri. No matter who they've gone to, that person has been able to draw a foul, get an easy layup, and they've done it by, as we've said, breaking the press that Fordham's had. And before Fordham can get set, specifically before Arena Marua inside can get set, they've found ways to get the ball inside to the post where the players have leverage towards the basket and are able to get up a shot unimpeded by Fordham defenders. And as such, Fordham defenders, if they want to contest the shot, are going to have to come from an illegal guarding position and commit a foul. And that's why we've seen so many fouls thus far. UMass has gone to the line 4 times already, or 3 times, with Ali Palmieri having all of those trips and going 3 for 4. So that's a little bit of a difference there. We'll have something to watch here, see if Fordham can clean up their post defense and get set in the half court easier.
9 first quarter turnovers for the Rams to 5 for the Minutewomen. As we get underway again, it's McHale with it on the right wing for UMass. She sends it to Olbrys, now inside for Odenigbo. Olbrys wants it back. Odenigbo backs into the post against Marua. Her layup's no good. Rebounded by Kayla Berry. Now Taylor Donaldson moves inside, gets the ball outside for Veljovic. Her 3 is no good. Rebounded by Harris, and she keeps it inbounds in the right corner. She gets it inside for Marua, who gets it to Veljovic. Still in the paint is Veljovic. She goes up for the layup. It's no good. A lot of contact, but no calls. A steal from Veljovic on the other end. Wilson Saltos goes up and gets the make. A lot of chances on that end for Fordham, but they get the first bucket of the second quarter.
You love to see the offensive rebound from Harris, the steal from Veljovic, the bucket from Wilson Saltos, all these people who are being re-implemented into the starting lineup, making an impact.
Odenigbo with the ball, now Olbrys. Now to Kaleja on the right wing, no good. Rebounded by Veljovic, and Fordham takes it the other way. Now it's Shea Harris. Shea Harris slowing it down, running the offense. Veljovic on the right wing, looking for help. She finds Taylor Donaldson, who moves inside. Her layup is no good, a little strong. Emma Wilson-Saltos goes to the floor, and quickly the other way go the UMass Minutewomen with numbers. Odenigbo inside. Her layup is no good. Rebound is up, and the second chance effort goes. 28-21 UMass. 8:13 to go here in the second quarter. Fordham trying to slow their offense down. Make sure that they get good looks. Shea Harris with it at the three-point line. She pulls up from 17 and is fouled by Kaleja. She'll go to the line for 2.
It's those kind of shots that you want to see Harris limit as much as she can. She kind of gets bailed out by a foul there, but that's a deep 2. That's an inefficient take, and she's really struggled from the field lately. It'd be one thing if she's on a hot streak, and she's played solidly thus far today. I think her rebounding particularly has been impressive here early on in the second quarter. But she's 8 for 33 in her last 3 games. She's really struggled from inside of the arc. Shoots a lot of long 2s, and she's just 10 of 34 on them this year, 29% clip. So that's just not an efficient take, because even if you make it, it's just 2 points. So I'd rather see her settle for 3s or probe inside and then draw contact. She gets kind of bailed out, the fact that she's able to go to the line here.
And a 63% shooter from the stripe last season as she makes the first one. Down to 53% from the stripe to start this season, or excuse me, down to,
I believe 60%.
no, so yeah, sorry, she's a 63% shooter. And the second is good. 28-22. UMass has the lead, 7:50 and ticking in the second quarter. McHale sends it down for LeClaire. LeClaire on the right wing, guarded by Veljovic. Veljovic almost gets a steal. LeClaire picks it up, though. Moves the ball inside. Now it's McHale, but it's off her chest, rolls off her leg and out of bounds. It's a turnover and Fordham's ball.
You love to see Veljovic pressing up on the point guard and Momo LeClaire. She's had some turnover trouble since she was inserted into the starting lineup. She's got 10 turnovers in her 4 starts, and she had just 8 in her first 7 games off the bench.
Rene Marua with the ball, guarded by McHale. Now it's Shea Harris running the offense. Calls up Veljovic to the right wing. Veljovic gets it down into the corner for Marua. Now back to Veljovic. Sends it back to Harris. Swung all the way to the left side for Taylor Donaldson, and her 3 is pure. Taylor Donaldson gets Fordham within 6. It's within 3, 28-25. McKay with it for UMass. Now LeClaire, and now in the inside for Megan Olbrys, and it's stolen by Taylor Donaldson. Fast break the other direction. Palmieri is there, and she goes up with the layup, and it's good. Fordham's bench screaming for an and one, but they don't get it. The two is good, and we have a 1-point game. It's 28-27 UMass.
Fordham storming back, and they're doing so on the back of Taylor Donaldson. Made three, steal, layup in transition, potentially had an and one there, wasn't called. She has taken over this game from the bench, having a bit of a flu game, isn't she, Tucker? That's the difference in this one. Taylor Donaldson comes in, and it changes the trajectory of this game. It changes the energy that this team plays with. And clearly, when she's on the court, this is an entirely different team. It's a team that looked lost in that first quarter, really struggled, especially on the defensive end. Donaldson comes in. She's an anchor there. She's so good on the steal. She has 2.7 steals per game, which is, I believe, first in the A10 or second in the A10. And she had, 5 against Xavier? 5 steals against Xavier, had a career-high 6 earlier this year against, I believe, Cal State Fullerton. Just her defensive presence, the ability to get steals, and not just get steals, but translate them into points as well as anybody. You see her charging down the end, not afraid to take contact and score. That's where she's at her best. That's Taylor Donaldson's brand of basketball, and that's Fordham basketball, essentially, at this point. She is the offensive engine for this team, and to see her coming out with these big plays on both ends, that's what's gotten Fordham back into this game. And
you've mentioned pretty much every extra category between the steals and the pace and the general game the game IQ that Taylor Donaldson has, and then she has 17.8 points per game and is the second leading scorer in the A10 conference.
Oh yeah, that too. Right?
That's the cherry on top, basically, when it comes to Taylor Donaldson.
And she does it in a variety of ways, right? We see her get inside there, but we saw that deep three to end the first quarter. We saw that left wing three just a minute ago. Donaldson is 12th in the nation in three-pointers made per game. She makes more than 3 a game. She's already got 2 today. That's the difference for this team. It's a team that really struggles to shoot the 3 ball. They shoot just a tick north of 25% on the year. Just dismal. But Taylor Donaldson shoots 34%. She's the only player on this team that shoots a better than 30% clip from distance. So to see her get going, and even to see these secondary scorers who have kind of struggled, like a Shea Harris, make a 3 early on, that makes a big difference.
Taylor Donaldson now leading the scoring for the Fordham Rams with her 8 points tonight, 3 for 5 from the floor, hitting both of her 3-point attempts. For the Minutewomen, it's been all Ali Palmieri with her 13, and she's been doing it all between getting to the line, hitting from beyond the arc, and finding her teammates inside between Odenigbo and Olbrees. Ali Palmieri's been making it happen for the Minutewomen. She's the reason they have the lead.
Fordham coming back out in the press once again.
Palmieri with the ball. She gets it inside, but it kicks away. Call on the floor is that it will stay with UMass.
It was Veljovic getting her hands on it again. Have to love the handsiness from Fordham. It's starting to pay dividends.
Blocking up those passing lanes. This Fordham team has been putting the emphasis on blocking the passing lanes in recent games. Olbrees with the ball now for UMass. She sends it up top for Palmieri. Palmieri guarded by Shea Harris. She gets to Lily Ferguson, who pulls from 18. It's no good. Off front rim. It's rebounded by Omashola, who goes down to the floor with Ferguson, and it's called a jump ball. It'll be possession for Fordham.
Another nice defensive possession from Fordham there.
Inbound, Rene Marua to Taylor Donaldson, and now over to Shea Harris. She's nearly triple teamed at half court. Taylor Donaldson moves inside, dumps it off for Omashola. The layup is too high. Veljovic with a strong rebound, still trying to get free. She gets the ball out to Shea Harris. She gets it to Omashola, who goes up for the layup, and it's good. Nice feed inside from Shea Harris, and good hustle play overall. Fordham has the lead. It's 29-28.
Dakota down.
McHale has it and now moves it to LeClaire. Guarded by Taylor Donaldson. Ali Palmieri from the left wing for 3, and it's good. An answer finally for UMass, and it's 31-29 Minutewomen with 5:38 to go in the second quarter. Marua gets it forward to Donaldson. Veljovic was wide open in the corner. She thinks better of a 3 and moves inside. Now Marua with the rebound and with a little English off the glass. Rene Marua gets it done. It's 31-31.
Marua already up to 4 offensive rebounds. Her 12 offensive rebounds against Xavier. That's the most by a Fordham player in recorded history.
Veljovic guarding McHale. Now Palmieri guarded by Harris. McHale gets it to Olbrys. Olbrys finds Odenigbo inside, but she's crashed immediately by Veljovic again. Another steal for the Rams.
She has been unbelievable on the defensive end.
Shea Harris goes the other way. Moves inside, and she's fouled on the shot. Although it seems they may have called it on the floor before the shot went up.
And I thought she was going up for a shot, but instead Fordham's going to have a baseline inbound. Really like what I've seen out of Shea Harris. Running the point a little bit. She's taking care of the ball well. She's gotten rebounds. She's gotten second chances, gotten assists. She's done it all today, and she's played like a totally different player.
Inbound coming from Taylor Donaldson. Goes up high for Kayla Berry. She hands it off to Amaya Ferguson, who finds Taylor Donaldson again on the left wing. Donaldson moves to her right just a bit. Fires it up, but it's no good. A long-range jumper. 31 all, 4 minutes and 40 seconds to go in the second quarter.
Red.
It's Momo LeClaire with it for UMass. Now Olbrys inside, and her layup is good. They've been looking for her for the past few possessions. She finally gets one to go, and it's 33-31 UMass. Amaya Ferguson with the ball, standing on the logo at center court. Now it's Ferguson again. Finds Omashola inside. She goes up with the lay. It's no good. Rebounded by UMass. Quickly the other way are the Minutewomen. And a quick shot in transition, but a foul from Kayla Berry, a loud foul.
That was Aaliyah Sorrentino just checked into the game for the first time. She was a stud at Lipscomb. Career highs of 27 points, 23 rebounds, but now at UMass, she started a little bit in the middle part of the season, had an injury, missed a game. Now you see that brace on her left leg coming off the bench as a 7th or 8th man for this team. That's someone who, as she ramps up this year, could be a real impact player for the Minutewomen.
First free throw is good for Sorrentino. 34-31 UMass. She'll look to make it a 4-point lead, and she does. 35-31 UMass with just under 4 minutes to go here in the first half. Taylor Donaldson finds Marua, now Amaya Ferguson. Ferguson looks back to Coach Mitchell for a play, and now she'll run it. Looking for options, moving from right to left. Now she finds Donaldson. Donaldson goes inside to Marua, and now Wilson Saltos, but she's blocked as she goes up. UMass in transition the other direction. It's LeClaire. Now it's Kaleja on the right wing. Now it's Olbrys in the middle, but she travels at the free throw line. Another turnover, and it's Fordham's ball. 3:32 to go in the second quarter.
Well, Wilson Saltos can't finish there, but I really have liked her off-ball movement. A lot of baseline cuts from that dunkers area, has gotten a lot of easy looks inside, and it's translated into points whether it's from her or a second chance.
Maya Ferguson sends it to Taylor Donaldson, and she drills the left corner three. Just absolutely ice cold from Taylor Donaldson. And another travel. This time, it's against Palmieri for UMass. Another turnover for UMass. And Fordham, with a 1-point deficit here, gets the ball back again.
They do the exact same thing. We've seen Taya Davis get called for that a lot this year. Just moving that back pivot foot up before you put the ball down. UMass does it twice in a row here, and Fordham's going to get kind of free possessions, if you will.
Just ticking under 3 minutes to go in the second quarter. Fordham tried to move it inside to Wilson Saltos, but the ball gets away from her, and it's another turnover under the basket for the Rams.
Once again, you see Wilson Saltos making some nice movement off the ball, gets an easy look inside. Would like to see her just go straight up instead of putting the ball on the floor there.
Momo LeClaire guarded by Amaya Ferguson. Now Olbrys with a nice pass inside to Kaleja. Really nice find, and the layup is good. 37-34, UMass has the lead.
It was a design play. She came off an off-ball screen and ran to the rim on the right side and got an easy lay.
Taylor Donaldson and Amaya Ferguson working the ball between each other. Taylor Donaldson takes a left wing three, and it's no good off the front rim. Palmieri moving quickly into the paint the other direction, goes straight through Fordham's defense. Her layup is no good, but the rebound immediately by Sorrentino, and she puts up the layup to make it 39-34. Amaya Ferguson with it now, sends it to Kayla Berry in the corner, but Olbrys gets her hands on it, and it's going to be a jump ball. Referees signaling that it will stay with Fordham, the possession that is.
Crucial 2 minutes and 7 seconds here before halftime. A chance to eat into this lead, but you're going to be doing so without your best two players, Taylor Donaldson and Arena Marua, checking out. So a fresh lineup for Fordham, one we've probably never seen before this season. You got Ferguson, Harris, Barry, Wilson Saltos, and Veljovic. We'll see who does the scoring on the offensive end.
Inbounded by Ferguson. She tried to get it to Shea Harris, but it was over the top. She fired the inbound over Harris's head, and it went out of bounds.
Immediately you see Bridgette Mitchell calling for a substitution, getting Taya Davis in the game, someone you're more comfortable with running the point. Ferguson just a little bit of a misinput on the inbounds pass, sent it too far north to Harris.
Clock moving just under 2 minutes now here in the second quarter. It's McHale on the ball for UMass.
What's up, everyone? I'm Will Talent.
And I'm Evan Harkin. We're two of your hosts for NFL Friday. WFUV Sports
Again, that's our fourth rebound of the game now.
Tayed. Inbound there, and it's stolen immediately by Kayla Berry. She goes coast to coast and misses the lay. Emma Wilson-Saltos tried to tip it in, but she tipped it straight up in the air, and it's rebounded by UMass.
Squandered opportunities.
McHale with it now. A minute 27 to go in the second quarter. Getting down to the last couple of possessions of the half here. And there's going to be a foul on Fordham.
Looks like Kayla Berry.
It's against Kayla Berry. She fouled Olbrees, who was trying to receive a pass in the paint. The ball will go under the basket.
Not a bad foul, though. You like to see them better physicality and denying the ball in the post. It's something that they struggled with in the first quarter.
Inbounded by McHale to Palmieri. Palmieri pulls for three, and it's no good off the front of the rim. Rebounded by Carissa Antoine, but
another
Sorrentino did get her hands on it. They call a jump ball again, but it goes to Fordham this time. Antoine inbounds it to Taya Davis. A minute 10 to go in the second quarter. Taya Davis finds Veljovic, now back to Davis. Davis working on the right wing, sends it all the way across for Veljovic on the other side of the court. She dribbles inside and then sends it back up top for Davis again. Davis sends it to Carissa Antoine on the right side in the paint, and she's fouled as she goes up for the shot.
Fordham getting a little bit lucky there again. Just no penetration inside. Davis took a little bit too long initiating the play. Kind of something that you would expect with your best two offensive players out in TD and Marua, but able eventually to find Antoine inside. A good look here, and now she'll get to the stripe.
First free throw is no good for Carissa Antoine. The foul is called on Aaliyah Sorrentino on the shot.
And Antoine, the freshman, one area she struggled is with the free throw shooting, just 50% now on the season.
And she misses both free throws on this opportunity. 45 seconds to go here in the second quarter. LeClaire finds McHale, and McHale finds Olbrees, now back up for Momo LeClaire. LeClaire guarded at half court by Shea Harris. She finds McHale again. McHale working right to left, now finds Palmieri. Palmieri pulls for three, and it's no good. Rebound by Wilson Saltos. Both players go to the floor.
It's going to stay with UMass. A lot of contact from Sorrentino there on the rebound, but it goes uncalled, and UMass will retain possession.
I was almost expecting another use of the possession arrow on the jump ball there, but they do call it out of bounds on Fordham. It'll be an inbound for Olbrees. Shot clock is turned off. 16 seconds and ticking here in the second quarter. It's Palmieri, and now it's Sorrentino. Now it's Palmieri again. Palmieri looking for her shot. 4 seconds. She goes up with the layup, and it's no good. Fight for the rebound, and Olbrys sends it back up right at the buzzer, and it beats it. Olbrys with the offensive board and the good layup just before the buzzer at the end of the first half. 41-34. The UMass Minutewomen do lead the Fordham Rams as we go to the locker rooms at the end of the first half. And boy, oh boy, Joe, it's been a lot of second chance opportunities for both teams, really. The offensive rebounding is all over the place for both of these two teams, but it was Olbrys and the Minutewomen getting it done on the final offensive rebound of the first half.
Yeah, well, both of these teams are very, very good rebounding teams. UMass because they're so big, and Fordham because it's just a focal point for them. They're coming off of a historic offensive rebounding performance, 27 offensive boards against Xavier. That's the most that they've had as a team since a 2003 game against Dartmouth, right? So a matchup of titans on the glass, and thus far, the edge goes to UMass. Fordham has a slight advantage in the offensive side of things, 7-6, but pretty negligible there. Meanwhile, on the defensive side, Fordham has just 7 defensive rebounds, whereas UMass has 11. So they've got the slight edge on the board, and with the taller players, they have an easier job translating those into second chance points, and that's what we've seen. That's what we saw at the buzzer there. Olbrys just able to reach over Fordham players, grab the ball, and put back in a pretty easy, rather uncontested layup to stretch this lead to 7, and that's a big momentum play as you head into halftime.
Once again, the score after 2 quarters of play, UMass 41, Fordham 34. We will be back with the second half of play after our one-on-one halftime show back at the Rose Hill studio with Madi Dembele and Ben Oppenheimer. We will be right back after the half with more women's basketball on WFUV Sports.
The one-on-one halftime report.
If you don't like that, you do not like A10 conference basketball. From the WFUV studios of Fordham University here in the Boogie Down Bronx, the halftime show, WFUV's one-on-one halftime show, brought to you here by WFUV. I am Madi Dembele, joined here by Benjamin Oppenheimer, Lou Orlando on the sticks here, and Ben, a very, very interesting first half. Basketball is a game for the stars. Big-time players make big-time plays, and it's been the big-time players for both sides, the Minutewomen and the Fordham Rams, who have come alive. Fordham sooner rather than later, better late than never. And for UMass, it's been pretty much the entire game. I want to open up on the side of the Minutewomen. Ali Palmieri, it's her game to lose, right? 14.4 points per game, right? That's what she averages for the season. But she had 13 points by the start of the second quarter. She finishes the half with 16 on great efficient shooting to start the game when she had 13, 4 or 5. From the field. I mean, like, she's going to be one player that Fordham's going to have to key in, Ben.
Yeah, to say the least, Marty. I mean, you look at the impact that she has had offensively, going 5 of 10 from the field, 3 of 5 from deep in 18 minutes to play. Very efficient, and that translates overall, not just to her stats, but you look at UMass overall, 55% from the field, 57% from beyond the arc, 83% from the line, 12 turnovers, the same as Fordham. But really, that's why they're ahead right now, is just more efficient basketball, more cohesive offensive play, particularly getting the right people open. And Palmieri is taking advantage, and you just have to wonder, is Taylor Donaldson going to do her best to answer back? She has had a great first half of her own, 11 points, 4 for 8 from the field, 3 for 4 from 3. But, you need to find a way to limit the damage that Palmieri is going to do, as well as some of the others on this UMass roster. And you have to stop the bleeding. You have to contain Palmieri, and there's definitely adjustments to be made on the defensive end, which has been their strength. 41 points for UMass in the first half. Yeah. That's not something I think that Coach Mitchell was pleased with defensively, and that's the adjustments I think she's going to look to make in the locker room during halftime. Is how can we contain this UMass team and also continue to shoot the ball fairly well. I mean, they're shooting 45%, which is not as good as 55% for UMass, but they're shooting 56% from three. So really clean up the errors on the defensive side of the ball, and the rest will take care of itself.
Ben, you know we appreciate your perspective here at WFUV, being a basketball extraordinaire. Another man's perspective we respect here. Kurt Sipple, live from Amherst, Massachusetts. Kurt, how you doing? How's the experience over there?
Guys, it's a pleasure to join you. I mean, it's incredible here. This stadium's huge.
One of the best. One of the best in the A10. But Kurt, from your perspective, again, not to cut you off there, but Ali Palmieri, we talk about her scoring prowess, but it's been a few different things. And I think another relic of UMass's great performance has been the rebounding. Oden Nigbo, right? I see her as the X factor, right? 8 games this season she played with 3 starts, 6'4" frame, controlling the board. She currently has 3. I believe she leads the Minutewomen in that category there. But if you look at the points in the paint for the Minutewomen, 12 points, second chance points, 6 on layups. They are shooting very, very efficiently. Kurt, is this the way to go for them? You kind of see Fordham starting to wake up, but is this the way that the Minutewomen have to approach this?
Well, for the Minutewomen today, you're really seeing in the game that they're really charging the paint because Fordham right now does not have enough size to stop their taller people from coming in. And we mentioned Palmieri, who's number 15 in the A10 in scoring right now and has 16 points in the half. I mean, for Coach Bridgette Mitchell, we're seeing it in the front. I'm sure you could hear it on the broadcast. There's a lot of frustration mounting from the bench. I mean, there's a couple, maybe a few missed calls when we were playing the game. But for now, Fordham is playing pretty good basketball. I would like to see less of the charging into the paint, more taking shots from the perimeter because we're not making that Fordham is not making those shots from the paint because they're just being defended too well.
Yeah, I think if you want to talk about a bright spot for Fordham, like a silver lining in all of this, it has been their bench scoring. They lead 13-7, and the catalyst of that has been no other but Taylor Donaldson, right? She started this game off the bench, had a little bit of a sickness, but she gets it going early, second in the A10 and scoring at around 16 points per game. I mean, like, extremely impressive showing from her there. So given the fact that there are so many other players, is Fordham going to be, I guess, is Fordham going to have to focus specifically on getting the ball in TD's hands? Because you talk about Velovic and you talk about Shea Harris, who actually leads all players in plus minus the assists, the rebounding there. So is it just a matter of feeding the beast?
I think so, definitely. I mean, both of you guys know this. I mean, you've watched a lot of Fordham women's basketball like we all have. Donaldson is the key to most of these games for Fordham. 11 points right now, 4 of 8 from the field, 3 of 4 from 3. I mean, it is about feeding the beast right now for Taylor Donaldson. And the more that they can do that, the more scoring that will happen for these Fordham Rams. And especially people like Irene Marua, while she might not have as many points, she's filling the stat sheet on rebounds. I mean, 4 offensive rebounds, you feel the effectiveness, especially the aggressiveness that Coach B wants them to play with. Sitting here and we show them that we could see how fast-paced Coach B wants them to play, calling for them to press, as well as run the ball up the court. Sometimes that doesn't work out so well for the Fordham Rams, but it helps more and more, as you guys can see.
Well, Kurt, and thanks for coming on with us, by the way. When I look at one interesting statistic here, I think bench points is fascinating. Fordham outscoring UMass 13-7 in bench points. And I'm wondering, you talk about feed the beast with Taylor Donaldson, just let her do her thing and work her magic offensively. But is there a role in the second half offensively for this bench? Is that also a key to victory here?
I think right now, Ben, it's more of the fact that Fordham has to find a lineup that's going to work for them. We saw the starting 5 was a little different than usual for the Fordham Rams today, and I think now it's just mainly finding a starting 5, not a starting 5, just finding a 5 that will work for them throughout this rest of this game. And right now we saw that when we had Donaldson and Marua on the same court, because of the aggressiveness that they're going to play, and just keep harping on to that because that's what Coach B wants them to play with. And I think that's the key to the game. I mean, their bench has to come in and score, Ben, but especially when the bench has come in, they might not have been as effective as Fordham might have wanted them. So right now it's just the fact of they have to figure out who are going to be the ones that come in and show the aggressiveness to Coach B so they don't have to be swapped out immediately. I mean, we saw Donaldson come out and then immediately sub right back in for those last 2 minutes. So it's just showing right now maybe Fordham needs to retool in the locker room. We'll see what Coach B's telling them.
Kurt, I mean, like, you try to solve the geometry that is the Fordham Rams and how they should approach this second half. I got to tell you, I think the real culprit in all of this, it's not the turnovers, it's not the miscues, it's not the shot selection. I actually think it's the defensive rotations. I had it pulled up on the live stream there. Fordham not there for the wide open. Like, UMass has been getting whatever shot they want, particularly from three earlier on to start this game. Fordham in the short corner, not rotating at the top of the key, not there at all. So if you ask me, that's the biggest culprit throughout this entire game for the Fordham Rams. I don't know if you would agree with that, Ben. I don't even know if you would agree with that, but that's where I'm coming from with this.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of takeaways here, and once again, that was really cool just to mention Kurt coming on.
Yeah.
And love to get his input from him. But there's a lot of angles to analyze from this first half. It was certainly, I think we can both agree, it was a chaotic first half.
Chaotic's good.
Yeah. But it's, for me, the angle that I'm looking for is will Fordham take advantage of the chaos? They're only down 7 points. They were down actually 7 points in the first quarter, so they were down 26-19, and then they scored an equal amount in the second, 15-15. The story I'm looking for in the third is, can they outscore them significantly? Make it 20-14 or something along those lines. And then in the fourth quarter, obviously that's when you got to wrap this one up. So how can you close out this second half, particularly on the offensive side of the ball, but also defensively limiting Palmieri? That's the key to this game.
Yeah, shout out to Velhovic. Big three to start the affair. 2 steals on the defensive end. Jay Harris, again, leading all players in plus minus the assist, the rebounding, not just the scoring, playing a different brand of basketball. Then, again, Ben, talk is cheap. Me and you could sit here and do this all the time, but the only thing that is final is those that are on the floor putting the ball in the basket. Perspective matters, but basketball matters even more. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for the halftime show and for us in the studio. Once again, for Benjamin Oppenheimer and Lou Orlando, I am Madi Dembele. From the Bronx to Amherst with love, we're going to send it back to Joe Henry and Tucker Alston, play-by-play and color specifically, and as well as Kurt Zippel. Gentlemen, take it away. Second half action is a go.
Hey guys, it's Taylor Donaldson from Fordham Women's Basketball. You can catch all of our games this season on the WFUV Sports YouTube page. Follow along as we chase an Atlantic 10 title. WFUV is the home of Fordham basketball.
And we welcome you back inside of the Mullins Center from extremely foggy and overcast Amherst, Massachusetts. Also very cold, I should mention.
Yeah, welcome to my state, Tucker.
Yeah. Tucker Austin, joined, of course, by Joe Henry. And we've got Kurt Zippel with us working on-site production. Thank you very much to Madi and Ben for that halftime show. You'll hear from Mr. Ben Oppenheimer again at the end of the third quarter. But we've got a second half of basketball to get through here, Joe. And the Fordham Rams, they certainly need to press the objective now. Down by 7, going into the second half. It's sort of a similar situation to what they were facing at the end of the first quarter, where Amherst kind of started to, where UMass started to pull away from the Fordham Rams just a little bit. But then we saw Taylor Donaldson, the microwave, getting it going for the Fordham Rams and bringing them all the way back. So would you look for Taylor Donaldson to maybe be making the plays for Fordham in the second half, or is there another player that maybe we should be looking to take over for the Rams?
Yeah, look, Donaldson is the microwave. She gets hot real quick. Down 7, she's the player who has the best chance of reducing that margin from 7 to maybe 2 or 1, and eventually getting Fordham back into the driver's seat. It'll be interesting to see if she's in the starting lineup going back out there. I see she's seated on the bench right now. That tells me that she would be out there with the starting 5. Of course, she came off the bench, was feeling a little under the weather, but she's been their best player, and no surprise with that fact. 4 for 8 now, 11 points. She's got 3 threes on the day, shooting 3 of 4 from beyond the arc. And as I mentioned, 12th in the nation in 3-pointers made. It's those 3-pointers that are going to get Fordham right back into the game. And on that note, Fordham is shooting a really solid 5 for 9 from 3, 56%. For the season, they're shooting just 26%. So for them to have had this kind of performance from beyond the arc tells me that if they're able to channel that into the second half and execute at a similar level, then they're going to be in really good shape. If, and this is a big if, they can start to stop this UMass defense, or UMass offense rather. This is a UMass team that, as I said, scored just 53 against a pretty dismal opponent in UMass Lowell. Now they've got 41 at just halftime. They're on pace for 82. Fordham has not won a game when they've surrendered more than 56 points. So the fact that Massachusetts is maybe less than a quarter away from reaching that mark is very, very wary for Fordham. You have to be very concerned about that figure, and it's something to continue to look for here. They're going to have to clamp up on defense. I like what Ben and Madi were saying about ball denial inside, about setting up your post defense. UMass has had a very easy time getting it inside, and because of their height advantage, once they get it inside, it's easy from there for them. You can just put it up because there's no one tall enough to defend you. So as the second half gets started, those are the things to look for.
20 minutes gone and 20 minutes to go here at the Mullins Center. And it's inbounded by Olbrys to Momo LeClaire, and we are rolling here in the second half. Olbrys sends it to a wide-open Palmieri on the left wing, and she drills the 3. You had to know she was making that one, and UMass gets out of the gates first in the second half. It's 44-34 Minutewomen.
Hard to see how that was part of the game plan. That's her 4th made 3 of the day. She's 4 for 6 now. I mean, you just have to tighten up.
Veljovic finds Marua in the corner. Now up for Taylor Donaldson and over to Shea Harris. Shea Harris moves it inside for Marua. Sends it to Harris, or to Veljovic, in the corner, and she loses the ball. Palmieri with the steal. Now UMass goes the other way, up by 10. The ball gets away from Kulasia, but she retrieves it, and there's a foul called on the floor. It's going to be against Taylor Donaldson.
Yeah, Donaldson going to the floor with LeClaire, and I guess they said that she made bodily contact, but the coaches are very confused about this, as is Taylor Donaldson. She says, I didn't make any illegal contact. In fact, it was Shea Harris that it looked like potentially made illegal contact once the ball returned to Kulasia's hands. So now they're adjusting the ruling, and it will be Shea Harris who is hit with the foul. That's going to be her second foul, and that matters.
Yeah, certainly when you're talking about foul trouble, you want to keep all fouls possible off of Taylor Donaldson, of all people. Now, back to work are the UMass Minutewomen. It's LeClaire up top. She finds Palmieri. Palmieri looking for options, trying to go to Odenigbo in the paint. She's double-teamed by Marua and Wilson Saltos. The ball gets away, and there's a shot clock violation. So nice shutdown defense from the Fordham Rams there after the foul on Shea Harris.
This is big to watch. Taylor Donaldson now taking that man-to-man matchup with Palmieri, who's been the hot hand for the Minutewomen. That's the key matchup going forward for this Rams defense.
Need a score here if you're the Fordham Rams to get yourself back into this game, down by double digits. Shea Harris with it on the left wing. Now moving left to right. Guarded by Kulasia. Emma Wilson-Saltos brings a screen. Driving. Now a pass to Marua inside, and her layup is good. Rene Marua with Fordham's first points of the half. And it's 44-36 Minutewomen with 8:17 left to go in the third quarter. Momo LeClaire guarded by Veljovic. Veljovic is called for the foul. It looked like she got her hands on the pass again, but they whistle the foul on number 9, Anastasia Veljovic, and it'll be an inbound for UMass.
It's a matchup to key in on. Momo LeClaire guarded by Veljovic, who's been really hounding LeClaire, who's struggled with turnovers since returning to the starting lineup for UMass. That's something to be wary of as we head to the second half.
Momo LeClaire awaits for the inbound. Fordham, of course, in their road black and maroons against the home whites of UMass, and they're is a turnover against UMass. The ball gets away, and Fordham will gain possession. Full court press here from Palmieri against Shea Harris, but she moves it forward to Donaldson. Finds Marua, and now it's Shea Harris again on the right wing. Shea Harris pulls for three from the right wing and drains it. Shea Harris for three, and it's 44-39 UMass.
Well, she's a volume shooter from three. She shot a lot of them last year at App State. Gets one to go here. She's 2 for 3 on the day after being just 24% on the season.
Olbrich with the ball up top. Now Palmieri inside for Kulasia.
Looking like a foul on the floor on Wilson Saltos.
Yeah, it's a foul against Emma Wilson Saltos. Once again on the floor, though. Fordham doing a decent job of not fouling during the shooting motion. They haven't sent a UMass player to the line yet in the second half.
Another foul on the floor. They're really piling up here.
Yeah, this could be a issue for Fordham down the stretch. These fouls are going to collect, and I believe they'll remain into the fourth quarter for the second half. So Palmieri loses the ball after the inbound, but she finds Kulasia. Kulasia driving through the paint, 2 steps to the bucket, and gets the layup to go. 46-39 Minutewomen with 7:17 to go. Harris pulls for three from straight on. It's no good. Wilson Saltos with the tip in, and a great play by Emma Wilson Saltos to get the bucket. 46-41 UMass. LeClaire moves it to Olbrich. Now Kulasia, guarded by Harris and Marua. Kulasia moving through the paint. She loses the ball, and it's going the other way. So a turnover for UMass, and Fordham gets the ball down by 5 with 6:48 to go here in the third quarter.
Fordham making the Minutewomen a lot less comfortable on the offensive end to start the second half.
A quick three on the pull-up for Taylor Donaldson, and she drills it. Taylor Donaldson walked down the court with possession, pulls up for three, and knocks it down. 46-44, UMass has the lead. Momo LeClaire brings it across half court, and LaFleur calls a timeout for UMass.
Well, the microwave is on, Tucker, and it's got a high wattage. Look for Taylor Donaldson to power this team to victory here in the second half. As we said, the ability to quickly cut leads. It was a 7-point deficit entering the second half, and now it's just 2. And to circle back earlier, we saw that Emma Wilson Saltos put-back layup, her first start as a Ram. She has been tremendous rebounding the ball in limited minutes so far. It's no surprise that as she gets extended play here, she's able to make a big impact play, that put-back layup, right? She had a 19.9% offensive rebounding percentage, which is, get this, 10th in the entire country. So 1 in every 5 shots shot by a Fordham Ram offensively is pulled in by Emma Wilson Saltos. That's earning you an extra possession 1/5 of the time from one player alone, and we see her making an impact here.
And with that timeout, we will take a quick timeout from the Mullins Center. UMass leads the Fordham Rams 46-44, and we'll be right back with more women's basketball on WFUV Sports.
Hi, this is Mike Breen, WFUV class of 1983. WFUV is the flagship station of Fordham Athletics with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball, in addition to Saturday one-on-one. Stay right here on 90.7 FM for all things WFUV Sports.
And we welcome you back to the Mullins Center. UMass leads the Fordham Rams 46-44. Now this lead was up to 10 points this quarter earlier on, Joe. But now, like you said before we went to break, Taylor Donaldson really turned it on. I mean, that was one of the coldest single actions I think I've ever witnessed on a basketball court. Taylor Donaldson just casually dribbling down the court, doesn't look any other options, pulls up to the left wing and drills the three to put them within 2. Just incredible play from Taylor Donaldson, and like you said, again, in her essentially the flu game, as we understand it, playing through a little bit of illness. It'll be an inbound from Lily Ferguson to Yamani McHale for UMass, and we're back underway here in the third quarter. McHale sends it into the corner for Palmieri, and Ali Palmieri drills an answer. It's 49-44 UMass.
Her 5th free of the game, going tit for tat with Donaldson.
That brings Palmieri's point total now to in excess of 20 points. Taylor Donaldson with the ball on the left wing. Marua now inside, and they call the travel. That pivot foot moved once again. We saw Olbrys called for it on the other end, but this time it's Marua for the Rams.
Just preventable turnovers. That's something that Fordham has struggled with all year.
Veljovic defending McHale at center court. McHale finds in the left wing. Now it's back to McHale. She tries to work into the paint, but there's going to be a foul called on the floor.
It's going to go against Veljovic again. They're really starting to pile up for her. She's up to 3 now. And she's been a really impressive force, in my opinion. Defensively has also been solid. Offensively has got 5 points in her first career start. 4 boards to go with it. So that's something to monitor as that foul count starts to tick up there.
Already the bonus, as that foul on Veljovic was on the floor, but we find McHale at the line, and she made her first of 2 free throws.
I was expecting McHale to have a bigger role in this one. She's been shooting a ton for UMass, but really has been passive today.
She makes both from the free throw line to improve to 12 of 13 on the season so far.
Now it looks like McHale was hit with a on-the-floor foul against Donaldson.
So Shea Harris will inbound for the Rams. Shot is up and good.
Donaldson again.
Taylor Donaldson still getting it done for the Rams. 51-46 UMass. McHale still working the point for the Minutewomen. Looking for options. She finds Kulasia on the left wing. Now into the paint for Olbrys, and she backs up Wilson Saltos and gets the bucket to go. 53-46, 5 minutes to play here in the third quarter. A lot of contact, and they call an offensive foul against Taylor Donaldson in the shot. It was absorbed by Olbrys under the basket. So a good tenacious play there from UMass to get possession.
It's a hard thing to do, laying your body on the line like that. And on the other end, Olbrys making the shot there. It's no surprise. Her 59% field goal percentage, 23rd in all of college basketball.
Now it's Lily Ferguson on the ball for UMass, trying to make a decision on where to go with it. And now it's McHale on the left wing. She finds Olbrys, now down low for Lily Ferguson again. She outlets for Olbrys, sent back up for McHale. 8 seconds on the shot clock. McHale moves to the free throw line and now into the paint. Throws up a floater, it's no good. Marua attempts a rebound, but they're going to call a foul.
Will go Fordham's way. And something of note here, Rose Nelson checking in for the first time. Fordham's power forward and one of their sturdier interior defenders, looking to stem the tide as UMass continues to have so much success on the interior. That's something that could change the course of this game.
And with 4:34 to play here in the third quarter, we take our first media timeout. It's UMass 53, Fordham 46, and we'll be right back with more Fordham women's basketball on WFUV Sports.
How's it going, everyone? Will Talent here, your New York Giants beat reporter for the 2024 season. Follow alongside me at talent_Will on X to catch all of the updates on your New York Football Giants from MetLife Stadium. With rookie sensation Malik Neighbors and big free agent acquisition Brian Burns, WFUV Sports is the place for Big Blue coverage. WFUV, your home for New York sports.
And welcome back to the Mullins Center. Tucker Austin joined by Joe Henry alongside Mr. Kurt Sippel working production for us today. 4:34 to go here in the third quarter. It is the UMass Minutewomen 53, Fordham 46. And the Fordham Rams, really, they've been making moves to get back ahead of the Minutewomen this quarter, and they've been almost there, like pretty much almost getting over the hump, but UMass still moving effectively in the offensive end. They're still making the shots that they need to make, getting those looks in the paint that we said Fordham would have to stop. So it'll be interesting to see how Fordham will move for the rest of this half in terms of guarding this UMass team in the paint. But you mentioned just before we went to break that Rose Nelson was checking in for the Fordham Rams. So how can Rose Nelson maybe put a cap on this scoring in the paint for UMass?
Well, you look at the lineup Fordham's about to put out. Rose Nelson, Irene Marua, Emma Wilson-Saltos, Shea Harris, and Taylor Donaldson. That's about the biggest lineup you could possibly see from Fordham. So they're sensing UMass's size is taking advantage of them defensively. They're putting in a big stopper, and Rose Nelson, who's able to body up against a bigger player like Odenigbo. And we're going to see if that's going to have a difference inside. They probably are going to pack the paint against a UMass team that typically is a little more reluctant to shoot threes than they have been tonight.
Inbound for Fordham. Marua has it at half court, but it's knocked away by Kulasia.
She was fouled.
Looked like there could have been enough contact for a foul, but no call on the floor. UMass with the ball on the other end.
No, you're good, you're good, you're good.
Obrys fakes the three, finds Odenigbo inside, and she gets the lay. It's Obrys and Odenigbo, the tree connection, and they get it done for UMass 55-46. Quickly the other way went the Fordham Rams. A scramble for the ball near the sidelines right in front of us here.
This is a big moment for Fordham. You brought it to within 2. Now UMass has resurged, brought this lead back up to 9. It's time to fight back. This is a do-or-die moment for Fordham with 4 minutes to go in the third period.
Taylor Donaldson was moving right to left and went into the paint, but there's a travel called against Taylor Donaldson. Rare mistake from Taylor Donaldson, and a turnover for Fordham. UMass moving very slowly now against Fordham's full court press.
Need a stop here.
As this game moves on, I imagine UMass's offense will turn into molasses pretty quickly.
There it is, NNA. There it is, NNA.
Palmieri gets a wide open look from straight on for 3, but it's no good. Rene Marua gets the rebound and is quickly fouled.
Yeah, a lot of contact from UMass on the boards today, and you hear a lot of dissatisfaction with that from Fordham fans and coaches. Marua gets her 5th offensive rebound of the game, which is just incredible, and is fouled there. She's been so impactful on the boards, even though she's kind of struggled to guard Odenigbo inside.
And there's been a lot of fouls in this game, Joe, but, you know, I mean, I feel like they could have called more based on how much contact there's been in this game.
Yeah, it's been chippy.
Back underway now, and Taylor Donaldson has the ball up top for the Rams. She wants Rose Nelson to come up for a screen, but now it's back up to Taylor Donaldson. She drives into the paint. Goes up with the left hand, but it's no good. Emma Wilson-Saltos tried for the rebound, but it got away from her. And it went off of Wilson-Saltos, so it'll be out of bounds on the Rams. Inbound for UMass underneath. Lily Ferguson inbounds to McHale. Yamani McHale with Taylor Donaldson lined up to defend. Rose Nelson now on Kulasia in the left corner. Kulasia finds McHale, but it gets through her hands. Taylor Donaldson picks it up and is quick in transition. She goes up and she makes the layup. Taylor Donaldson with the quick scoop and score on the steal, if you will. It's 55-48 UMass. Now McHale with it for UMass once again. She tried to find Palmieri in the corner, but it got sent back to McHale. McHale finds Palmieri on the right wing, but she is called for the offensive foul. And it's another turnover for UMass. Rose Nelson takes a seat for the Rams.
Well, she did her job defensively, held her own. Kulasia was her assignment, held her scoreless. Now Fordham looking to eat into this deficit.
Odenigbo still on for UMass, but Olbrys is off, so Fordham can afford to go a little bit smaller. Ferguson finds Emma Wilson-Saltos inside with a great feed into the paint, and the layup is good. 55-50 UMass.
Well, Wilson-Saltos' off-ball movement has paid off, and finally she's able to finish one of those looks after cutting inside.
Ball is up top with Momo LeClaire. Now she finds Kulasia in the corner. Ali Palmieri on the right wing. Now it's Momo LeClaire up top again. LeClaire goes left to right and moves into the paint. She finds Lily Ferguson, fakes the jumper, moves into the paint. Now she tries to rise for the jumper, but she's called for the up and down on the travel. Couldn't get those feet set before the second shot attempt. And Fordham has possession once again. 1:40 and ticking now in the third quarter. 55-50, the Minutewomen lead. Taylor Donaldson slowing things down for the Rams. She'll run the offense. Standing on the logo at center court is Taylor Donaldson. She finds Marua inside. Marua pulls from the free throw line. It's no good. Rebounded by Wilson-Saltos. And they're going to call a jump ball, I believe.
Oh, it looked like a foul on the rebound on UMass, so Fordham will retain possession, and in fact, they're in the bonus, so Wilson-Saltos will go to the line. I mentioned earlier her offensive rebounding percentage. We see it again here, and it's going to give Fordham potentially a couple more points on the board.
So Wilson-Saltos goes up strong for the rebound, collects the ball, and is fouled on the way back down. Fordham in the bonus, so she goes to the line. Wilson-Saltos with an opportunity to bring Fordham within 3 points of UMass now, once again. She was just a 47% shooter from the stripe last season. As I curse her, and she misses the first one. Wilson-Saltos' second free throw is good. So Emma Wilson-Saltos makes one of two. Taylor Donaldson checks out in favor of Shea Harris. 1:16 and ticking, full court press for the Fordham Rams. 3 players currently still below the three-point line on the other end, and now UMass quickly the other way. Ali Palmieri with it on the left wing. She finds Odenigbo. She tries to go inside. She goes up for a shot, but it's blocked by Wilson-Saltos. The ball is still loose, and Odenigbo regains possession and finds Momo LeClaire. The referee stops play here. I believe I saw it. If I can read lips well, I saw delay of
That's
game.
what I heard as well, but it was a live ball, so I'm very confused about this, as is everyone. A lot of confusion on the Fordham sideline.
A lot of confusion all over the place, including myself, I must say, Joe. Because I saw him call delay of game, but it was a live ball. And it's UMass's ball somehow, but you know, the inbound for UMass after a bit of a confusing sequence there. Shea Harris nearly gets the steal against Ali Palmieri. She misses the short 2-point jumper. And there's another foul on the floor in the fight for the rebound. It's going to be against UMass. Possession going to Fordham. 43.9 left to play here in the third quarter.
Taylor Donaldson's going to check right back in. But as I said, so much physicality on the glass from UMass. Finally, Fordham able to draw some calls and able to retain possession of the rebounds. And as Madi and Ben were saying in the halftime show, struggling rotation defense-wise Fordham was in the first half. This time you see Marua come over from the weak side and get a good contest up against Palmieri, who's been hot.
Emma Wilson-Saltos back at the line for the Fordham Rams as she was fouled on the defensive end getting a rebound. Now fouled in the act of rebounding on both ends of the floor. Her second is no good, so 1 for 2 twice and 2 for 4 on the night for Emma Wilson-Saltos, but it is a 3-point game, 55-52. Allie Palmieri has it up top for UMass. Now in the corner for Kulasia, and she hits from 3. 58-52, UMass. 19 seconds left in the third quarter. There's no shot clock. In the corner, it's Shea Harris. She pulls for 2. It's no good off the front rim. It's going to be Fordham's ball. An interesting play there in the corner. Stephanie Kulasia got the rebound that was going off of UMass, threw it off of Marua, and then it came back and hit Kulasia and was still out of bounds off of UMass, so still Fordham's ball. Bit of an interesting sequence there.
A very, very comical sequence. It was a smart play from Kulasia, but it didn't pay off, and Fordham has an imperative possession here with 7 seconds to go.
Donaldson gets the inbound to Shea Harris, 6 seconds on the clock. Harris drives into the paint. She goes up with the lay, it's no good. The rebound's collected by UMass, and I believe they might be trying to call, I believe the referees are going to try and call a foul on the floor.
They're
right at the end of the
discussing it
quarter.
now. I thought that McHale traveled with it. Blowing the whistle
No,
again.
they
do
did.
call the travel. Fordham ball. Now will they put time back on the clock? This could earn Fordham another possession.
The referees are still conversing with the scorers at the scoring table, trying to figure out if there's any time left in this third quarter. There's zeros on the clock in the arena, but the travel, I believe, would have been called with tenths of a second left on the clock. Certainly not a full second.
But maybe enough time for a tip shot or even a jumper. And, you know, every tenth of a second counts in a game that is likely to be decided by single digits. It's been that close all game long, and Fordham needs these points. They've had so much trouble overcoming that hump. They're able to keep it within 5 to 7, but every time they get within 2 or 3, UMass fights back. So this is a huge opportunity, if there is a second, to say get it to Taylor Donaldson, who's so good at those movement threes and who can find ways to score no matter where she is on the floor. You know, all right, 0.7 seconds they're adding to the shot clock. That's enough for a jump shot.
Yeah,
so
that is plenty of time for a catch and shoot.
We'll see what Bridgette Mitchell draws up. She's being informed now. They're going to spot the ball right in front of us, which is on the near side, side out, just above the break for Fordham. So they're going to have it in their own side of the court. Mitchell drawing up a play now. We'll see who will trigger it. I would have to expect that it's Taylor Donaldson to do the shooting, perhaps Shea Harris, who also was a fan of those motion threes. It's going to be Carissa Antoine, so a taller player on the inbound. She's going to be guarded by Sorrentino, who's a 6'2 forward, very lengthy at that. We'll see what happens here. I'm thinking a down screen that Donaldson's going to come off of. Indeed it is.
Antoine fires a sky-high inbound. Not really sure what the plan was there from Carissa Antoine as she sent the ball to space, and it comes down in the hands of a UMass defender. And that takes us to the end of the third quarter. It is 58-52. The Minutewomen lead the Rams. And we'll be right back after we go back to the studio with the one-on-one scoreboard update. It's the one and only Ben Oppenheimer on WFUV Sports.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
Heading back to the other A10 women's basketball teams in action today, the Davidson Wildcats took care of business in Pittsburgh as they beat Duquesne 76-70. And in Kingston, Rhode Island, the URI Rams are cruising against the St. Louis Billikens. Currently, Rhode Island has the lead 66-33 as they close out the third quarter. And in Philadelphia, George Washington is up 20-15 to finish the first quarter against the LaSalle Explorers. Also in Philly currently, VCU is neck and neck against the St. Joseph's Hawks, as both teams are tied at 11 in a low-scoring game so far with 47 seconds to go in the first quarter. In Virginia, the Dayton Flyers are trailing early against Richmond. Richmond was ranked first in the A10 preseason poll. The Spiders are up 15-8 as the first quarter concludes. And again, coming up shortly at 3 p.m. to round out A10 women's basketball play today, St. Bonaventure is in Chicago to play the Loyola Chicago Ramblers. With the one-on-one scoreboard update, I'm Ben Oppenheimer.
And welcome back inside of the Mullins Center, where the UMass Minutewomen lead the Fordham Rams by a score of 58-52. And I mean, Joe, we were talking about this game maybe getting into the 80s or even the 90s back in the first quarter with how the scoring was to start off, but it is grinded to a halt here in the second half. That scoring in the third quarter really just... both teams struggling to get things going. We saw the size matchups. Obviously, when they brought in Rose Nelson to try and guard Olbris and to try and get somebody to solve Odenigbo because she is just insanely large on the court. But the Fordham Rams still find themselves down by 6. Just 10 minutes left to play. And coming off of an odd play, I would say, to end the third quarter. Yeah, a couple odd plays really to end that quarter, between just trying to figure out how much time was left on the clock for that play and then the actual play occurring itself.
I figured Antoine was going to trigger into Donaldson off of that down screen. Instead, she tried to lob it up for Wilson Saltos, but it was nowhere near the basket. Just a little bit of an awkward play, but I suppose it beats getting a 5-second violation.
And Irene Marua inbounds it for the Fordham Rams. Now in the corner, it's Shea Harris. Now Taylor Donaldson on the left wing. Irene Marua tries to find Veljovic in the corner, but it's off her hands and out of bounds. It's a quick turnover here in the fourth quarter for Fordham. Allie Palmieri with the ball. She's double teamed in the press. Olbris finally crosses half court. McHale goes back to Olbris, who tries to find Palmieri, but the ball gets away again. So back-to-back sloppy plays from both sides to start this fourth quarter, and Fordham has the ball once again.
Yeah, the turnover numbers are ridiculous. UMass has 21, Fordham has 19. They both have, I believe, 8 in the second half.
Veljovic in the corner finds Shea Harris. Now Harris to Marua. Marua down into the corner for Veljovic. Veljovic tries to find Marua inside, but Odenigbo gets her hand on it and pokes it away. Kulasia goes up for the layup, but there's going to be, I believe, a foul called on the floor.
It looks like it was shooting.
Or no, sorry, shooting foul.
And it's going to be Veljovic again, which is number 4 for her. And for as much as she has impressed me today as she runs back to the sideline after picking up that fourth. Couple of rough offensive possessions to open up. Turnover, 2 turnovers actually. Ball slipped out of her hands first possession. Second possession tries to feed Irene Marua in the post, but just a little bit of an errant pass. Odenigbo able to poke it away, so a couple of key mistakes.
Stephanie Kulasia knocks down her first of 2 free throws. She's shooting 78% from the stripe so far this season, up 4% from last year. Kulasia's second is no good off the front of the rim. It's good to know that the announcer's curse is in full swing for both sides, not just for Fordham, but Irene Marua will inbound once again for the Rams. 59-52, UMass has the lead. 9:06 to go here in the fourth quarter as the ball gets away. It'll be Fordham inbounding again as there was a deflection from UMass's full court press.
They've got 7 more seconds to get it up. Should be plenty of time.
Donaldson gets it forward for Shea Harris, and Fordham breaks the press. A long pass down to the bottom under the basket for Kayla Berry, but it's off her hands again. So it's the second time a pass for the Fordham Rams has gone off the hands of a player and out of bounds.
Just more unforced errors.
Kulasia has it on the left side for UMass. Now McHale up top. Standing just beyond the center court logo, now finds Kulasia again on the left wing. Kulasia goes back up top for McHale again. Odenigbo sets a screen up top.
Looks like they got her for an illegal screen.
Yep, didn't get the feet set on the screen, did Odenigbo. It's going to be a moving screen. And Fordham moving it back up once again. Shea Harris looking for options to break the press. Marua at half court. She finds Wilson Saltos. Making a cut is Taylor Donaldson under the basket. The reverse layup is no good. Fight for the rebound. And UMass gains possession. Now quickly the other way goes Kulasia. She finds Palmieri and she's fouled hard. You could call it on either of the two Fordham defenders that went up with her.
You like to see the aggression.
And the call comes against Taylor Donaldson, I believe. It could have been on Donaldson or Harris. But an unfortunate turn for it getting called on Taylor Donaldson is the last person that Fordham needs to be picking up fouls, especially late.
It's going to send Palmieri to the line where she's already got 22 points today. That's a career high for her. That's a season high for any UMass player as she makes her first free throw. Goes up to 23. She's also got those 5 3-pointers, shooting a scorching 5 of 8 from 3. That's the most 3-pointers by a UMass player this season, so she's been everything and more for this team.
Second free throw is good for Palmieri. It's 61-52 UMass, just 1 point shy of their largest lead of the game. Taylor Donaldson trying to get the offense working. The clock will tick just under 8 minutes here to play in the fourth quarter. Shea Harris has it. Veljovic. Now Marua inside. Drives in the paint against 3 defenders. Finds Taylor Donaldson on the right wing for 3. It's no good. Rebounded there. Strong by Kayla Berry, but it's poked away, and UMass gets possession.
Michigan.
Taylor Donaldson guarding McHale. She pokes the ball away. Possession will stay with the Minutewomen. McHale receives the inbound for UMass. Now moves the ball inside for Olbrys. Olbrys goes up with the layup. It's no good. Marua gets the rebound as it's going out of bounds and fires it back in. And Fordham has possession. Veljovic goes up strong under the basket for the lay-in. 61-54 UMass leads with 7:08 to go in the fourth.
And how about Taylor Donaldson flashing the playmaking as she deflects a pass out of bounds just then, so UMass will retain possession. She got that rebound from Marua and just hucked it all the way down court to Veljovic for that layup, creating points out of thin air for the Rams.
Yeah, and if she had, if her fingers were just a couple inches longer, she could have had a steal on that play, but it is a deflection. Still, the ball is with UMass. Momo LeClaire guarded by Taylor Donaldson right at half court. Now it's Palmieri, steps back for the 2-point J, and it's pure from Ali Palmieri. Fordham tries to move it quickly the other way. Shea Harris to Marua, and now Taylor Donaldson pulls up from the right wing, but she's called for the travel before she shoots. I'm a little baffled by that travel call. I don't think I've ever seen a player stop for the pull-up jumper and get called for the foul when she wasn't dribbling, or for the travel when she wasn't dribbling, but now we have. Momo LeClaire with it for UMass. It's a 9-point lead for the Minutewomen. Taylor Donaldson still trying her best to poke it away. Now it's Olbrys inside, guarded by Marua. She goes up strong, and the 2 is good for Olbrys. It's the largest lead of the afternoon for UMass, 65-54, with 6:19 to go in the quarter. And head coach Bridgette Mitchell of the Fordham Rams calls her second timeout of the game. And with that timeout, we'll take a quick break here as well from the Mullins Center. 65-54, UMass leads Fordham. And we'll be right back with more Fordham women's basketball after this on WFUV Sports.
What's up, everyone? I'm Evan Harkin, your New York Jets beat reporter for the 2024 season. Stay up to date with all things white and green from MetLife Stadium. From Aaron Rodgers touchdowns to Sauce Gardner interceptions, I've got you covered. So join me and Gang Green on Twitter at Ev Harkin and stay locked in with the JETS on WFUV, your home for New York sports.
Well, we're back inside of the Mullins Center. This crowd is getting juiced up for the back end of this fourth quarter, 6:19 to go, and UMass has opened up to its largest lead of the afternoon, an 11-point deficit for the Fordham Rams. 65-54 is the score. And Ali Palmieri is quickly approaching a 30-piece here for the UMass Minutewomen.
And I think more pressing, Tucker, is that Fordham has more turnovers in the fourth quarter than they have shot attempts. They've got 5 turnovers this frame in 4 minutes, and they've got 4 shot attempts, and, well, they're 1 for 4 on those attempts. So if you take those 9 possessions, only 1 of them translates into points, and a lot of those turnovers, unforced errors. We see a travel called before the ball is put on the floor. We see a couple errant passes. We see a mishandled pass from Veljovic. Fordham's got to tighten up, and they have to do it fast in order to come back from this major deficit here with just 6 minutes to play.
I mean, they've been outshot this game from the floor. They're even on the 3-point field goals, but UMass has taken 3 less threes and still has the same number. And then the
How's it going, everyone? Will Talent here, your New York Giants beat reporter for the 2024 season. Follow alongside me at talent_Will on X to catch all of the updates on your New York Football Giants from MetLife Stadium. With rookie sensation Malik Neighbors.
Marua inbounds for Taylor Donaldson. We're back underway. 6:12 and ticking in the fourth. Taylor Donaldson dribbling around from right to left. She tries to get it inside to Marua. Head coach Mitchell wanted a foul but didn't get it. Ball moved inside for Olbrys. Now it's Kulasia, but we got another travel against UMass. This time it's Kulasia on the left wing trying to get moving, but she doesn't put the ball on the floor. Fordham's ball once again. Still 65-54, the Rams trail. Taylor Donaldson finds Veljovic in the corner, but her three is no good. A battle for the loose ball. Several players on the floor, including Precious Omashola for the Rams and Stephanie Kulasia for UMass. Possession, though, will stay with the Minutewomen. Inbounded to Momo LeClaire. Now to Olbrys. Olbrys and Odenigbo worked it back and forth between each other. Now the handoff to Palmieri. She's working from the right to left. She tries to get it to Odenigbo, but it's a steal for Veljovic in the paint. Shea Harris now pushing the pace for the Rams the other way. She's fouled on the floor before she can go up for the shot.
Well, it's trying time for Fordham. They have to convert and start converting efficiently on these possessions. Can ill afford any more turnovers. They're at 24 now. Their team record is 33. Need a bucket here.
Taylor Donaldson looking for options on the inbound. She finds Precious Omashola. Handed back off to Donaldson in the corner. Omashola sets a screen. Donaldson dribbles into the paint, goes up with the right hand, and makes the lay. She goes to the floor, and there's no call on the shot, but the layup is good. A quick inbound from UMass. 65-56, the Minutewomen lead. Palmieri on the right wing moves it up top for LeClaire. Now she moves it to Kulasia and sends it back up top for Odenigbo. Palmieri tried to get it down low for Megan Olbrys, but the ball gets away. It's another turnover. Fordham gets the ball back.
This is a massive moment for them. You finally get a stop. Now you have a chance to put together successive baskets. You'd have to imagine it's going to be in the hands of Taylor Donaldson once more.
Referees speaking to the scorer's table, trying to figure out who has come on and who's come off for subs. Just under 5 minutes, play stopped briefly here. We'll keep it here, though, for now as the players head back out onto the floor. So a quick little timeout.
And you see on the sideline, Arena Marua having her right knee tended to. Looks like it might have gone cut on the wood. And once again, for the second time tonight, it's going to be Rose Nelson checking into the game.
Rose Nelson is in. Fordham has, yes, for a second there I thought they only had 4 players on the court, but they do have 5. Rose Nelson on briefly for Irene Marua. She is tended to on the sideline. Taylor Donaldson got stuck at the half-court line with the press, and the transition bucket the other way goes Momo LeClaire on the layup, and a back-breaking layup to give up if you're Fordham. Taylor Donaldson with the ball at the top of the key. Now on the right wing, she moves down into the right corner. Taylor Donaldson's double-teamed once again. She gets the ball out to Barry. 17-foot jumpers, no good. Palmieri with the rebound, and a pass is quickly poked away by Omashola. Slow to get up is Taylor Donaldson after that play.
She got hit in the face, maybe in the eye there, incidentally, on the rebound attempt.
She'll stay in the game, but looking a little shaken up, almost peeling herself off the floor there. Inbounded by Olbrys, and she gets it forward for Momo LeClaire. Rose Nelson gives chase. Now Taylor Donaldson collapses on her for the double team. The ball is swung around to Ali Palmieri on the right wing, and she hits for 3. 70-56 is the lead for UMass with just under 4 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. Taylor Donaldson finds Shea Harris. On the left wing, Harris looking for options. She comes back across to the right side. Wilson Salto sets a screen, but Harris moves into the corner. She finds Taylor Donaldson on the right wing. Her 3 is good. Taylor Donaldson answers for the Rams. It's 70-59, but a quick transition for UMass finds Odenigbo wide open under the basket.
You have to imagine here as UMass sinks what could be a dagger with 3 minutes and 30 seconds to play, that Fordham experimenting with all of these new lineups. I mean, so many of these groups have probably never played together. I mean, you just saw a lineup with Donaldson, Nelson, Harris, Barry out there at the same time. Probably haven't seen those 4 on the floor together all year. And so your execution, along with Wilson Saltos was out there as well, your execution on something like a full court press in a time of dire need when you really need a stop, that's something you kind of expect to be unable to execute in that moment, and indeed they do. They send too many players forward. It leaves Odenigbo wide open in the front court, able to execute an easy 2. And that's probably just a product of Fordham not having had this group on the floor at all this season, and that's kind of been an issue all day long. They're working with new groups of 5 that probably have never played in-game action together, and that has come back to bite them.
Taylor Donaldson's 5th three-pointer of the afternoon is quickly and immediately erased by the wide-open Odenigbo layup on the other end in transition. So Fordham in need of points and in need of plenty of stops with 3:27 to play here in the fourth quarter. Marua inbounds to Shea Harris. Now it's Marua again at half court. She'll bring it across the UMass logo. Taylor Donaldson asking for Marua to set a screen. Now Donaldson pulls for 3. It's no good. Short off the front of the rim. Quickly in transition go UMass again. Fordham struggling to get back onto defense. Now they'll reset the offense with Ali Palmieri up top and the handoff to Momo LeClaire.
They're content to burn a lot of clock here.
LeClaire guarded by Wilson Saltos. Now Kulasia guarded by Donaldson. Olbrys gets the ball in the low post, and she moves into the paint. Her layup's no good. The ball comes back out to Palmieri, who finds Odenigbo inside, wide open again. It's Odenigbo for the second straight possession, getting the lay for UMass, and now it's 74-59 Minutewomen.
Feels like Fordham's hunting turnovers and rebounds, and they're leaving their assignments in doing so.
Taylor Donaldson finds Marua in the corner for 3. That's short, no good. Odenigbo with the rebound. She tries to find LeClaire, but it's tipped out of bounds by Kayla Berry.
probably not the shot you want in that situation. Obviously, you want to get going and get up a shot, early shot clock, but that's Marua's 7th three-point attempt of the year. She's only made 1. Just an uncomfortable shot for her in that moment.
It'll be an inbound under the basket for UMass. Now they'll have to go to the length of the court. It's Momo LeClaire on the right wing now, and she brings it back up top to the center court logo. Wasting plenty of time off of this clock are the Minutewomen. Olbrys moves into the paint against Omashola, goes up with the lay, it's no good, gets the rebound and gets it to go. Another second chance opportunity converted by the UMass Minutewomen.
And Odenigbo has taken over in the last couple minutes and effectively sealed this one.
Yeah, excuse me,
Offensive rebound.
That was Odenigbo who came in. She flew in from behind the play and got the rebound and got the second chance bucket. So that's 3 straight buckets for Odenigbo, and she's also at the line to try and turn this into a 3-point play. She does not hit. Bounced off the far and close side rim multiple times before rimming out. Fordham goes the other way. The Rams need a bucket quick, but the ball gets to Omashola inside and gets away from her. UMass with the steal. 1:46 to go here in the fourth quarter, 76-59. UMass has the lead. Ball is swung all the way to Kulasia in the right wing. She takes a 3, it's no good. Odenigbo, another offensive rebound. Back up to LeClaire. Under 1:30 to go here in the fourth quarter. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Momo LeClaire moves to an Odenigbo screen. She finds Kulasia, who goes all the way across to the left wing for Palmieri, and her 3 is no good. That certainly would have been a dagger. Now going the other way are the Fordham Rams. 1:10 to go. Shea Harris drives, comes up holding her ankle, but gets up quickly.
It's going to be Olbrys' 4th foul, but I don't think it matters. 68 seconds for your team to climb back from a 17-point deficit. You saw Fordham on the other end sending Veljovic to double whoever has the ball and kind of implementing a scramble drill from there, just trying to get a turnover, trying to speed up this Fordham, or this UMass offense in there, just unable to do so, and as such it's going to leave the rebounding area wide open for someone like Odenigbo to get another offensive rebound, and that's really what separated these teams as we got down the stretch.
Shea Harris fails to convert on either free throw and is asking for Bridgette Mitchell to take her off the court. She's clearly hobbling. Taylor Donaldson got a steal and a quick layup. It's 76-61 with 50 seconds to go. Play stopped.
Veljovic called for the foul there. I believe she fouls out now. So Ferguson and Barry are going to check in for the injured Harris and the fouled out Veljovic.
It'll be an inbound.
UMass was
for UMass.
Set up with the side out, but I believe they're in the bonus.
No, yeah, so they'll go to the line. I'm not sure why they started setting up at the sideline, but Allie Palmieri, the leading scorer tonight, at the line with a chance to get that 30-piece. Palmieri hits the first to get her point total up to an even 30 on the afternoon.
Their career high, as I mentioned, was 21, so blowing that out of the water tonight. And as she hits another to go up to 31 on the night, this performance is coming off of 4 for 29 in her last 2 games. I mean, she had been struggling so mightily, so for her to now have this massive game out of nowhere, it feels like it made all the difference tonight.
Kayla Berry trying to work it forward, but it's going to be a foul against Kulasia of UMass. No bonus yet for the Fordham Rams, so Amaya Ferguson will take a inbound right in front of us here. 40 seconds on the clock here in the fourth quarter. Taya Davis with the ball up at the top of the key. She finds Amaya Ferguson. Ferguson back to Davis. Davis finds Omashola. Omashola tries to go up top for Ferguson, but the ball will go back court. It never got to Ferguson's hands. And with 25.5 to go, UMass is nearly able
They are.
to run they are able to run the clock down. So
Yeah.
the shot clock is turned off. Momo Leclerc with possession at midcourt. And the time will melt off this clock as the Mullins Center raises to its feet. Just 6 seconds to go here as they continue to dribble it out. The handshakes are beginning on the court, and the UMass Minutewomen have opened Atlantic 10 conference play with a win over the Fordham Rams. The Minutewomen get it done. 78-61 is the final. And what a performance tonight from Allie Palmieri, Joe.
I mean, she was excellent, just amazing from Palmieri. A career high, inching somewhat close to the UMass all-time points record for points in the game. This is someone who had struggled so much lately from the field, but when you have a player who's, a senior guard, has so much experience shooting the ball, it's not going to stop her. Just like a Taylor Donaldson, she shot 8 for 28 against Xavier. That didn't stop her from shooting tonight. Both of these players coming off of performances in which, Taylor Donaldson scored a lot of points, but she also was inefficient from the field. That didn't stop either of them tonight from having a major impact, and Palmieri was certainly the #1 star of this game. And you see a lot of fanfare here in the Mullins Center. And from this UMass bench, you saw a player, I believe Leclerc, was lifted into the air upon the buzzer sounding in this one. And it's a monumental win for this team, and it can't be understated. This is a team that went 5-27 last year, that was just 4-9 on their home floor. So their home floor wasn't even theirs. 2-16 in A10 play. Just a brutal, brutal season coming after such an incredible tenure with Tori Verity as head coach. You had Sam Breen, your greatest player of all time, was the A10 Player of the Year in back-to-back years. From 2016 to 2023, Verity had a 59% winning percentage for this UMass team. From 21 to 23, they had a 750 win percentage. They were A10 champions in 2022. A historic program that had so much success in the past decade, and then that all went away last year. For them to regroup, get back, and beat a really solid Fordham team, that tells you that this UMass team has fully short-circuited their rebuild, and they're ready to compete in this A10 after just a year of rebuilding.
And for the Fordham Rams, of course, not the ideal way that you want to open conference play. Of course, you never want to start conference play with a loss, but unfortunately they fall on the road today in Amherst to UMass. Taylor Donaldson was the leading scorer for Fordham today, 25 points for her on a very efficient day, I should say. 10 for 18 from the floor, 5 for 8 from beyond the arc. So very good numbers from Taylor Donaldson today. Also, Wilson Saltos, we said her name plenty of times today. 4 for 5 from the floor, 4 for 6 from the stripe was Wilson Saltos today.
And 12 points, that ties her Division I career high. Obviously, she was a star at the JUCO level at Monroe, averaged 14 and 12 there. We saw her impact the game scoring and on the boards today. And even in a loss, you have to say that what you took away from her performance in her first start as a Fordham Ram were a lot of positives.
Well, that just about does it for us here at the Mullins Center in Amherst, but we're not quite done with the broadcast yet. We've got a post-game show for you coming up next from the Rose Hill studio with Madi Dembele and Ben Oppenheimer. But from the Mullins Center, for Kurt Sippel and for Joe Henry, I have been Tucker Austin saying so long. Once again, 78-61 the final, UMass over Fordham. We will be right back in the Rose Hill studio on WFUV Sports.
The one-on-one post-game report.
All is well, all has ended, and that's going to be all that she wrote. 78-61 is your final score from Amherst, Massachusetts. The Minutewomen, it's kind of, I want to say, like stopping the Fordham Rams stampede into their home court, and they take care of business. A 17-point win for them from the WFUV studios here. I am Madi Dembele, joined here by Ben Oppenheimer, Lou Orlando behind the board. Shout out to the boys on the broadcast. Excellent job by Tucker Austin, Joe Henry, and of course Kurt Sippel. But 78-61 is your final score from Amherst, Massachusetts. The Minutewomen getting it done against the Fordham Rams. And Ben, there's only one story. We talked about the stars of stars at halftime, and Allie Palmieri, 31 big ones, 9 of 17 from the field. And you could say this is her best game, coming out magnum opus type performance by her. Just got the text message not too long ago from the guys This is her career high, and she made good on it, and she was able to do it in a win.
Yeah, and that's a major factor, if not the factor, in why
Won the game.
Fordham did not pick up the win on the road to start off conference play. And she had a phenomenal game, 9 for 17 from the field, 6 for 10 from 3. Also made 7 of 8 at the line and just looked unstoppable. And, 31 points, it's different than 31 points in the pros. 31 points in college is like almost, when you compare the scoring abilities of a college player versus a pro player, 31 in college to me is like scoring 40 or more in pros, because obviously players don't average as much in college as they do in the WNBA and the NBA, so this is really just a great performance. Credit to her, just an offensive route of this Fordham team. And, Taylor Donaldson had a good game, but she was unfortunately outshined by Palmieri. Just an excellent game. And it's more than just Palmieri. You look at these stats here. Overall for UMass, 57%
efficient
from the field. And ironically, not just 57% from the field, but also 57% from three-point line. And Fordham was shooting around that from 3 in the first half. Now, after that second half of play, they're down to 44% from 3 and 46% overall. So those woes from beyond the arc really hurt Fordham, especially there in the fourth quarter. And I commented, Marty, during our halftime show that I was looking for what would be the scoring in the third quarter.
Exactly.
And it just wasn't enough. Fordham did outscore UMass in the third quarter, but it was only by 1 point, 18-17. And I was saying they got to, get up to a lead of what we saw from UMass in the first, like 26-19. And 18-17 is not going to cut it. And then Fordham kind of just collapsed in the fourth. They scored 9 to UMass's 20. And this feels like a setback, for a team that really felt like the momentum was going their way. The team was looking not only great defensively, but looking like they were coming together cohesively offensively. And this feels like 1 step forward, 2 steps back. I mean, a lot of the things that they were trending upwards with in non-conference play, particularly in the Siena game, in the LIU game, and other games that you called with Chris, Marty, there were definitely some positive trends and signs to take away. But this team looked rusty out there. They looked chaotic, frantic. It's not the worst performance by far, obviously not, but definitely not the statement that they were looking to show on the road. And just going over a key stat of this game, the turnovers. Both teams extremely sloppy. Now, that's because it's after Christmas. It's the first game.
Exactly.
It's a rust. But 26 each, 52 turnovers in total for both teams. And then you also look at bench points. And this is what's bizarre to me. Fordham outscored UMass 27-9 off the bench. But it just was not enough because Palmieri was, as we noted, excellent. But really the stat that helps, besides the field goal percentage for UMass, because we already went over that, when you look at the assists for the Minutewomen, 20-14 in terms of assists, outdoing Fordham in that aspect. And assists are tied with making shots, getting people open. Passing the ball is key to just having a free-flowing offense, and Fordham was more stagnant on that point. And so, to me, that tells the story. The assists tell the story of the field goal percentage, the poor shooting from 3 or poor compared to UMass. So UMass moving the ball around better, and that's why they were able to shoot better. Better offensive performance tonight from them. Overall, better defensive performance tonight. And Palmieri was the star. Credit to UMass. Fordham's got to talk some things over and see what they can do and go from here.
And as I told you before we started the show, I think the biggest thing that you said there, the greatest sentiment, was going to be the rust. Obviously, of the long layover, it was Christmas break. You just come off of, again, as we talked about, 2 really, really good performances that you should be proud of. But this was definitely a much-needed win by the Fordham Rams. Taylor Donaldson, you talk about the bench points. She was the main catalyst of that. Came off the bench for that one, 25 points, 10 of 18, 5 of 8. So she did her thing as the big-time bucket getter. We know that she is, but it wasn't all hands on deck, and I think you saw that particularly on the defensive side of the ball, the defensive rotations. I watched a lot of that second half, and again, Fordham not being there when the ball is, whether it be in the short corner, top of the key, getting wide open shots, not just the assist, but the hockey assist, the pass that leads to the assist that leads to the assist, and Fordham just seemed to be playing catch-up this entire time, and even when you thought that it may change the tide, Massachusetts was able to get points in the fire. Even when the Fordham onslaught, or the Fordham stampede, if you will, came, they were still able to grab quick little points here and there. The fouling also contributed for Fordham. Little hiccups, not being able to control the ball, the rebounding discrepancy. So it's not the way you want to open it up for A10 play here. Another name that I have to shout out on the side of UMass, Chene Odenigbo. Excuse me for the butchering of your name. 14.7 of 11. With 8 rebounds, 5 offensively, right? Second chance points, 3 on the defensive end. She was a plus 11 on the floor there. Impact. Not even the best on the team. Impact, right? Yeah. You talk about just the impact that everybody has. We can move away from her, and we could talk about Obrees, who's a plus 20, or Palmieri, who's a plus 17 herself. Kalissa, if I'm saying her name correctly, plus 22. Right, it's beyond passing. It's an all hands on deck approach that Fordham was not able to replicate, and it's something that Fordham tries to emphasize, that inside out approach where you have the guard on the outside, which is usually TD, and then inside it's more of doing the dirty work, getting that little drop step and inside there. But UMass was able to put the blueprint out, right? Odenigbo inside, and then you have Ali Palmieri playing like the game of her life on the outside there. So Fordham dropping the first game of A10 play. It's not what you want to see here. But there's a lot to be learned here. Obviously, each game comes with its own set of, I would say, lessons, Ben. And again, coming off of that California trip, and with this, I think Fordham, you either respond in one of 2 ways, obviously. You either take that back, you put that trip in the back burner, you say, okay, this was a game we should have never dropped. We obviously go forward with this, and we try our best as we go against the Richmond Spiders. So, any final remarks, Ben?
They've got Richmond coming up Thursday of this week, January 2nd. That's going to be here. And Richmond is I noted in my update that they were ranked number 1 in the preseason poll. So it's tough to, in what they wanted, what many expected could be an opportunity for a victory here. Now they're 0-1, facing off on Thursday against a Richmond team that is very good. 0-2 to start out the season is a hole you don't want to find yourself in. So I'm sure Coach Mitchell is getting right back to the drawing board and talking with her team about the numerous adjustments that they need to make, they have to make if they want to stay competitive to start out A10 conference play, Marty.
Yeah, and a lot to like even from this game here. It's a treacherous road ahead against Richmond being number 1. Then you got Duquesne, GW, Loyola Chicago, St. Joseph's, Dayton is eventually down the line. But if anybody's willing to do it and is up for the challenge, it's going to be Coach Bridgette Mitchell and the Fordham Rams here. With that being said, that's going to be all for this broadcast here. Major shout out to Tucker Austin and Joe Henry. The broadcast, the level of production that they're able to put out is something. Watch out for them throughout the course of this season, as well as next season. They're going to be good, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to Kurt Sipple on-site production. Bobby Chaffardini is the sports director here at WFUV. Lou Orlando is the sports manager. The great stuff that he does, ladies and gentlemen. Check him out on social media. Sweet Lou. For Benjamin Oppenheimer, I have been Madi Dembele, and this post-game show has been a production of WFUV. Ladies and gentlemen, good night and good game.